So where was I? Basically, what I want to see now is that I'm gonna chill here for a bit, and I wait for BTC to make its final move into 114.9, 115.2, because here I basically see that we've been in this really big downtrend on others dominance, which basically inclines the strength that altcoins have versus BTC, and that's finally breaking out here. Like 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago, I said in the roundtable that 7% was the last hope for altcoins, which is the weekly level. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to see, but it has been the weekly support resistance since 2018. Every time we retested that level, it gave a big reaction. And that's why I became so bullish, why no one was still bullish, because I saw on the others dominance chart that we finally came into that level. And people thought, no, there's never going to be an alt season, while the levels to me spoke to me that this was just a small deviation and a reaccumulation zone at that 2018 level. So that was picture perfect. And now we see finally we are taking off from that accumulation range, and we're starting really to poke out of that higher time frame trend line here. So this is really where I want to do business now. I think this is gonna accumulate here for a bit, gonna range for a bit, and then also gonna send in the second part of the week again, like on Thursday and Friday when we see the PPI data come in and all the news is behind us and all the insecurities are taken away for participants, and then it's risk on again into the weekend. So that's really, I'm really bullish at the moment on the market when BTC finally, that's always what I say to people. You want to see the king bottom, and that's when alts can have a little can breathe again. And also we see some good strength in Ethereum, but I think that will reverse once we see this higher time frame trend line tapped on the Sol ETH pairing. So once we get into this area on Sol ETH, I think we see good rotation, and Sol is gonna lead again. This is gonna give a good reaction, and this is where we rotate our backs into the Solana ecosystem. Yeah, that's it from my side.
It's
Actually,
really interesting. I've never used the dominance of others before, but it's actually a really good metric. So
it's super good
yeah,
indicator.
what I
And you know
normally
what I like
do is,
about
Mhm.
these charts, like some altcoins only have data from 2 months or 3 months old, but the others dominance chart, and same with the total chart, the total 2 chart and the total 3 chart, they have all these data coming back from like 2016, 2017. So these levels, they work really well because the higher the time frame, the better your levels work. So yeah, that I really love it.
Yeah, that's great. So just to make sure that I understand and that maybe anyone else understands, others dominance. So in others, it's all coins
It's
minus BTC
no
minus ETH.
minus the top 10, minus the top
Oh,
10.
minus the top 10. All right.
Yeah,
Does that okay? So it's minus top 10 minus
there you go.
USDT, USDC, all of them. But does
Yeah,
it also
yeah.
include like the smaller stable coins that are maybe not in the top 10, or is it
No,
without those as well?
it's like the crypto total market cap of the top 100, excluding
Mhm.
the top 10.
Okay. Oh yeah, that makes
So
that
then the
makes a lot of
90
sense.
coins, after the top 10.
Hmm.
And
And
the total chart is the total market cap of the whole market. And then you have total
yep.
2 that's excluding BTC. Then you have total 3 that's excluding BTC and Ethereum. And then I also use USDT dominance on the higher time frame.
Yeah,
But yeah, the
USDT
others dominance
dominance
is
is
super
great.
nice. And the others chart is also super nice.
Hmm. Um, I also have a question about your BTC trade that you showed before. I'm really curious to hear about what makes you so confident in that 115, 114.9K level. So that, let's say, your stop loss is so tight. Because the way I look at it is that
It's
we have this huge daily fair value gap below. So what makes you confident is that the top of the fair value gap is going to be where we get that really clean reaction.
I think it's also time based, you know. I'm gonna remove these limits if I don't get it tonight between the illiquid hours. Because I
Right.
really think, and guys, really make a screenshot of this, really, because it's really important. This is the plan. This is the plan. Tonight is it's fucking game on for BTC if we get that level. And that's usually what makes me really excited. Here I'm gonna chill a bit. I'm gonna take my daughter off daycare at the moment. I'm gonna set my alerts for New York close. And in New York close, these smart money whales are gonna manipulate the price one more time into our level. And that's basically the invalidation is basically before daily close. The daily close, the daily low of today has to be the low of the week. And that's usually what works really well in my system.
Yeah,
It's
that's
called time-based trading, and we can still normally, if we set the low on Monday, you can still sweep it in Asia because it's a sweep of the Monday low. But on Tuesday, you want to see that low form between New York close and daily close, and you don't want to see that sweep in Asia.
Yeah, that's really great. I think it's really underrated the way people use or generally to use time in your trading, like trying to time the trades as well, not only on the y-axis, which is the price, but also on the x-axis, which shows the time.
Yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
that's a
It
great
works super
explanation.
well.
Yeah, I also think that we're gonna set the weekly low sometime today, maybe tomorrow at worst, like lower 113K, something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, then I expect us to range. So yeah, ETH although is really interesting. So let's maybe move on to ETH. What are your thoughts on ETH, Purdue? Because it was much stronger than BTC today.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, like I said, I actually don't really want to focus on E too much. I really want to focus on Solana because I think this whole lack of strength came due to the pump van launch. And I really think once we capitulate into this level for Solana Ethereum, into the Sol ETH chart, this is the reflection between Sol and ETH. Like you can also do like ETH BTC chart. If we get this, don't look at ETH anymore. If we get this tonight or tomorrow, this is the time to accumulate Sol, and nobody will see this. Nobody looks at the Sol ETH chart, but we do. And this is really where you want to start paying attention to Solana, while other people will start chasing ETH, and they think, oh, why is ETH so weak now at the moment? And they see Sol running. It's like chasing two rabbits, but you won't catch any of them. It's like focus on your levels on the TA chart, on the chart, because I think here ETH will top and Solana will bottom. This is basically an inversed metric that you use.
Interesting. Jonesy,
Yeah,
what are your
I'm
thoughts on ETH?
sorry that I'm so excited, but it's
It's
also
Oh,
normal.
picture perfect
You're
at the moment for me.
you're generally a
yeah.
really excited guy, and we love your energy.
Yeah. So I mean, right now it's just kind of ranging up in this weekly fair value gap. We took the high here. We left kind of relative equal highs. You're now below what was going to be a bullish fair value gap, but it's kind of flipped into inversion. So if you flip that, then maybe you could look for a continuation higher. I think the more likely scenario is probably clean up these lows. I was originally looking for like a pullback down to here. I don't think that's going to be the likely case if we are going to like continue ranging and alts are going to push higher. I think it's more likely you see like a rate of here and then some sort of reversal in what 2840 to 2913 zone. So that's kind of, I guess, my priority level for now. If that gets lost, then I'll look here and here. But idealistically, I'd like to see this kind of pull back, come back up range, and then eventually we reclaim the EQ and start running higher above 3K.
Yeah, that's generally my plan as well.
Yeah, I personally, I don't know, like Purdue's kind of saying like if Sol's going to outperform ETH, then hopefully like alts in general outperform ETH. I don't want it to be like alts underperforming ETH scenario. That wouldn't be great.
Yeah,
Could still be that
definitely.
they all go up, you know? Like if you look at my BTC dominance chart, this is crazy, guys. This is literally parabola. Like if I inverse the chart here, I don't know if people are still watching my screen, but if you inverse the chart here, this is a clean uptrend for BTC dominance. Right? Like breakout of this falling wedge here. And since then, we have been like up, yeah, down only because it's an inverse chart, of course. But we have been down only. And this is so good for altcoins. This has no floor at the moment. We lost all my levels.
Yeah, I think it's
Like in
the first time this cycle when BTC makes a new all-time high and BTC dominance is going down.
Is going down. Yeah, it's going to be so insane over the next few weeks. The only thing that I want to really be cautious with for members, like we get dips. Like today we had some dips, and you really have to be careful on your margin. It's better to like take some smaller size and DCA into your positions than to top loss and have your liquidation levels, because this environment is really good for swing trading, but we do get dips on the way up, you know. So for if BTC trades into 115, 114.9, yeah, altcoins are also gonna go down a bit more, like 4 or 5%. But they return with this BTC dominance dropping, they return way higher than they were like yesterday. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Everybody, welcome our brand new analyst, Osbra, to the panel. See, he just shared his screen.
thank you,
So,
man.
what are your thoughts, Osbra, on BTC right now?
I think I will join the crew. I remain bullish overall simply because if we look both at the HTF charts, for now there is nothing to be worried about. I don't want to be that guy calling, okay, this is the top, we're going back to new lows, blah blah blah. I think we had that surge. Remember, it happened over a weekend as well. So when you had movements over the weekend, usually, I mean, most of the time, you retest the levels. And here on the daily chart, we see that as long as we hold, it's around, it will be more accurate on LTF, but here on HTF, it's around, let's say, 108.5 and 111. And if we move to the LTF chart, then we have that whole level, previous value area high, just here. We have a bit of imbalance just here. Yeah, and the impulsive move started just here. And I think John Z, who mentioned it, 112. So I do like that. I wonder if we're going to play out the previous plan after the New York session close. If we do, I will be cautious about 119, 120K to see if we have a reversal. And this is where I want to take action. If you remember, if some people paid attention to what I said yesterday on stream and what I shared on my corner, this was the pass, that area. For me, it was a no trade because we lack a bit of confidence in my opinion. I like to be proven wrong because I still have some altcoins long running. But we lack confidence, and I think this the level to bid is around here, around 111. So yeah, I think we could have some bearish price action, LTF bearish price action, but HTF will remain bullish. I think we still due for a bit more upside as long as 111 holds. Now regarding altcoins, I'm quite bullish. First because of the BTC dominance chart. Obviously, it looks good. And as you just said, we had an all-time high on BTC, and the BTC dominance looks like this. It's something that I like. I don't want to be over excited because we had movements like this before, all right? And then it made a new high. So I would remain cautious. And what I suggest to do is to look at both the BTC dominance and the total tree charts. I don't look at orders yet, but I think I will start implementing it after I saw the previous chart. But yeah, I'm like a fan of the total tree chart, and for now it looks good. Once again, we can have a pullback, but I think the main res will be around 1 trillion, just here, because it's a psychological level. And then I have. What did you say? Sorry.
I have that as well, the 1 trillion level. It aligns well
okay.
also with the
Yeah.
higher time frame trend line and
Yeah,
super
yeah,
nice.
it's really good. And we have also that level. It's the top of the 2021 cycle. If we zoom out, you see it right here. So for now, this is the current top of the altcoins market. So this is what I will be looking at. I think we still due for more upside on altcoins as well. Some alts are doing well against BTC. Like BTC is dropping. It lost the 117K support area, let's say minor support area, and some alts are doing quite well. It's not amazing, but it's not that bad. For example, we have SUI, still good. I think we can sweep that value area high. Wait, I will zoom out a bit because it's not very convenient now. But some coins here like SUI are doing okay. I still want to see the 3.50 to take a long again. but for now it's doing okay. We have XRP obviously that's doing quite well, close to the high though. Would like to tap the supply. I'll zoom out so you guys can see the full plan like this. So yeah, I think it's better now to play altcoin longs and wait for BTC to reach a major level. And once again, to emphasize, I think the major level will be around 111, 112. And then if you have some, I think you said that, Perry, if I'm not wrong, but if you have some, like as BTC is king, if BTC hits a major support level, if you have major supports on strong altcoins, then you will be absolutely Gucci with longs. So try to spot strong alts first, and then once BTC triggers your alerts, then you shift your focus on these altcoins. To name a few,
let's go.
And I would like to know if you guys agree. But to name a few, I think we have Sui, we have Hype, CRV has been strong as well, Tao, obviously, Aave, and XRP. And you talked about Solana. I think Bonk is doing a good job as well on the Sol ecosystem. So yeah, do you agree with that list, or would you like to add something else or remove, maybe?
I already see so much, like I see my P&L as my guidance on where BTC is going. And I see already so much strength in my P&L while BTC is going down. So that means to me that altcoins are really strong. And once the king gives the green light to the altcoins again, they're gonna make new highs. What we already saw like this morning, that many coins put in a lot of green candles. Some made new highs, some were lackluster. But if you know the right narratives, and that's why fundamental analysis is so important this cycle, if you know where the money is flowing and where the attention is of the momentum and the attention is on certain altcoins, you can't go wrong with altcoins, because I think we're gonna start ranging, and that's where Follis is really good at with BTC. If we find that range, we're gonna see these fast rotations between altcoins, like for example Dodo here on my chart. I spotted it this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, and look at this strength, even when BTC is it's
Dodo, man.
it's a beta.
2020, no?
It's no, it's a new coin. It's like an NFT project of Pengu. But because Pengu is now topped, I thought, okay, this is flying under the radar. And the launch was really during peak FUD of altcoins, it was launched. And now it's slowly repricing. But these kind of charts, man, look at this rounded bottom. It's so beautiful. And even if BTC goes to 112, I still think this will never make new lows in the upcoming months. You know, this is bottomed as fuck. This is the most beautiful round bottom I've ever seen. So dips are for buying on altcoins, but on the right coins. So that's where you have to really spot which coins have good attention at the moment. You know, same with Bonk here. Super clean breakout. It's trading above this higher time frame trend line that has been capping the upside all the time. Here it rejected, and here it retested it almost, but it got front run, which is really bullish. So I think now if we start flipping again, this will pull in every like new leg after new leg after new leg until you hit certain higher time frame resistance areas. But they have so much room to go. Look at this chart, man. Look at this chart.
Yeah, a lot of coins have
so much room to go. Yeah,
definitely.
And some won't. Don't long dead charts and hope it goes up. Really try to spot where the momentum is going and what has the most attention on X. And it sounds a bit cheesy, but it's really important that the more eyes are on a chart, the more it works. You know, the more volume it creates.
Yeah, we're trading where there is volume, because volume is information, and the more information you have, the better educated your trades will be.
And it gives the direction as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna top blast this shit again.
Yeah.
John Z, do you have any altcoins on your radar?
OP. No, I mean, well, for me, the whole thesis on that is that chart is filled every monthly fair value gap that it's printed. There's one above us at 1.17 that is unfilled, and that is my target. That's all I want to see, just a run up to that. We had a specimen, like bread and butter, like exactly what you'd want to see, butterfly harmonic, left low resistance highs, happened right at the ice line, which was this low all the way back from, the Pico low. Well, I guess technically we made it like a new low, but back from 2022. Or actually, no, it was actually a little bit before that, but provided the reaction, and now it's just kind of butting up against this ice line at 69.68. I think once it flips that, it's kind of just going to go run straight up, take out the highs, and continue higher. So for me, it's now just kind of waiting for the optimal entry on this one. And there is a shark harmonic here with a lot of untaken lows. The only thing with this is should be a 1618, which means it can go to the 1.13, which is kind of why I'm like waiting a little bit to enter. The 1.13 would align exactly with a flat bottom candle on this H4 plus an H4 for value gap here. So I think that could almost be like a prime entry where it's like it just bottoms and then runs back. In which case I'm going to size big and swing for a monthly fair value gap. Alternatively, if it is reacting at the 886 and we do something like this and it kind of holds up, I don't think it'll be actionable today. I think tomorrow, potentially either during PPI or like after it, if like we hold here or take the low and then reverse, then I'd look to enter and play a deviation of the true weekly open, true monthly open. Once you flip that, it should run higher. You can see here we had the raid internally, and there was also a rejection off the H1 2000 EMA. If we flip that, the last time we were above that EMA was, well, it was like all the way back up here. But the last time we were riding that trend from that bullishly was back in November, where like you can see the ice line retest plus that with all the EMA consolidation led to like a really nice expansive move. So I'm hoping there's a couple like entry opportunities, either lower at the PCZ and H4 for value gap if we get it, either on potentially like a double bottom if we raid the low here, and or on the reclaim of true weekly open, true monthly open. Once we flip the H1 2K EMA, and then once you reclaim that ice line, that's like the time to go break even, risk off, because at that point, like it should expand higher, and if it comes back down, it's probably not going to look too good. But yeah, I have a plan. Just got to wait to take action on it. That's going to be like my big one for this year, I think. There's a couple other alts that look good that we've marked up during charting class, but this is the one for me that like it just makes the most sense. Especially in the H4 2K EMA up here as well, kind of aligning with that level. So a lot of confluence.
Yeah, we know OP is your favorite coin and for a good reason. And to like conclude all this talk about altcoins and altcoin season, I want you guys to look at this beautiful line chart that I've been looking at for a really, really long time. And basically what this shows, with blue, we have the market cap of BTC. With red, we have the market cap of everything except BTC, so that would be total 2. And with purple, we have the difference between the two. And this difference line is what I want you guys to pay attention to, because what it represents is the difference between, like I said, BTC and everything else. And if this is going up, it means that when money is flowing into the market, it means that more money is flowing into BTC if this line is going up. And if this line is going down, it means that if the market is going up, more money is flowing into altcoins. And if it's going down, it means that less money is flowing out of altcoins. So long story short, the last time when we got a true altcoin season back in 2021, the cycle also started with, of course, BTC leading and more money flowing into BTC. But once we got a clean weekly break-off structure on this purple line, this is when everything accelerated, and this is when we got the best altcoin season, the one that people are still looking for this cycle. And then we had still altcoins dominating, but not, let's say, with the same pace. So if we were to expect something similar this cycle, of course, BTC has been leading this since December 2021. It's been in a constant uptrend. But if we get a weekly break of structure below this line, this is where I could see this move down on the purple line accelerate and really have more money flowing into altcoins than BTC. So this chart doesn't really tell you the full story, of course. It's just 3 lines, but it tells you something really important, which is where money is flowing into. Is it flowing into BTC or is it flowing into altcoins? And if you want to get an altcoin season, we really do want to get more money flowing into altcoins than BTC, of course. So, what are your guys' opinions? Do you think that we will get an altcoin season? I'm speaking to the members. Or when will we get an altcoin season? What do you think? If you want, open up your mic, talk about it, show us some charts. Um, I know it can be daunting to speak in front of so many people, but we're all friends here and we're all appreciating your opinions. Or you can just type in chat. That's totally fine as well. I see an interesting chart there from you, Osbro. What is it? US 30Y.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. It's the ES31 is the yields from the US bonds, long-term yields. And as you can see, something that I've been saying a lot on Twitch in the previous Discord is that the market has been excessive with the reactions. And here you see that today we have an excessive reaction due to the CPI data. So what you want to pay attention to is it going to last? Because having the US 30 years yields above 5% is really bad. Because what does it mean? Basically, when long-term rates are high, it means that the market is predicting more inflation or more growth, to make it short. And obviously, if the market is predicting more inflation, then do you guys know what would be the repercussions on the stock market, on equities, on the crypto, etc.? I think you get it. Then obviously it means they expect lower prices, right? So I want to see because now like all the macro like medias are talking about that, saying US yields are surging, blah blah blah. But because market has been excessive, I'm not really like shocked, and I think we can still have a reversal once things settle down. But yeah, you want to pay attention to that. Also, something interesting that you said about altcoins, and I think it's also important for everyone to keep that in mind. You mentioned 2020, and it's true what you said. Like the chart is pretty accurate. We had the altcoin season, the almighty altcoin season that everyone is looking after, but
Yeah.
we had a correlation between the rates, right? The rates of the Fed and the altcoin season. Same with 2017. If you look at your altcoin charts, 2017 we had a massive burn, but the rates were low, right? 0.5, and here it was 0.25, and now it's around 5. So I think we'll have once again a correlation between the rates that you see here when they start to go lower, like Trump wants them to be, and the altcoin charts, because it means like the money will be cheap, and when money is cheap, people are like, ah man, I have so much money, I don't know what to do with it. And what they do, they buy stupid Pokemon cards at $2,000 and they buy stupid altcoins, right?
Yeah.
So you want to pay attention to this. It's really important, and this is why the market is reacting like it's reacting to news like today about inflation. It's very, very, very important. And you can see here, just to check the correlation with 2021. I need to disable this. Okay, good. Right here, you see the rates were super low, and we had this. When they started to increase rates, then we had the dump on alts.
Do
So
you
yeah,
think
pay
it's like
attention to
a
that.
correlation or a causation between, let's say, big market trends and rates? Because on one hand, you can say, okay, yeah, rates going down or being down is really great for the market because people then would rather invest into stupid shit. But at the
Yeah.
same time, markets like rates get increased when the market is doing badly. So what's the story here? Is it a correlation or a causation? Because it's great to have someone with us that understands these, let's say, really basics of financial, but it's not something that we crypto bros are normally learning before we
Yeah.
go into this world.
That's true. The thing is, usually, and this is what we've seen in history, market is in a bad shape before the rates go high.
Mhm.
Because the market predicts, like for example, like I said, with the yields, they're predicting inflation. So we want to see if it's an overreaction or not. So we want to see if it's going to go higher and higher and higher. And if it's the case, then obviously you will see a correlation between this and the equities, and equities will go down. This is usually what happens. And then, so to go back to your question, so the market is bad before the rates increase, right? And because the
Yes.
the Fed usually, it's like what happened in 2008, yeah, they intervene after the catastrophe, with the subprimes and stuff.
Yeah.
So market always anticipate what's going to happen. This is the beautiful thing about the market. So now the rates are super high. So altcoins are like obviously altcoins are lagging if you compare to S&P that's been doing all-time high and all-time high, and BTC as well. And I think if altcoins start to catch up, it might mean, obviously I don't know shit, but I'm trying to
Yeah.
anticipate like
We never
everyone else.
know for sure. We can just
Yeah, we never know for sure.
predict. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that mindset. But it would mean that the market is anticipating the Fed to cut the rates. All right. So as I said, market try to predict things. So market is bad before the Fed start to hikes, and this is what happened in 2021. At the end of 2021, we started to have a massive drop in prices because inflation was so high that the market was predicting the rates to increase dramatically. And this is what happened, right? So now we want to see the opposite. We want to see the market go up in anticipation of rates going down.
So
You know what I
why
mean? Is it
does
clear?
yeah.
I'm trying to keep things simple.
Yeah, we'll learn a lot from you on these topics. I'm really sure. But my question would be like, why? I mean, it's logical why Trump wants or it officially requests rates to go down, but at the same time, Powell is reluctant to follow on Trump's requests.
Yeah,
Why is this fight between Trump and Feds?
because the Fed has first regarding Trump. Trump want to cut taxes, right? Uh, Basically, taxes are like government money. It's money that goes into government pocket, right? But also the government is paying a huge amount of debt because the rates are high. This is why Trump is always saying, yeah, guys, Powell is costing us billions and billions of dollars because the repayment of the US debt because of the high rates is like a lot of money. It's a lot of debt being repaid, of interest being repaid. And this is why he wants to have the rates extremely low, because it will allow the Trump administration to apply his fiscal policy. They want to cut taxes, and they can't if the rates are too high, because otherwise the government is at risk of default. Because
Yeah.
if it doesn't make money with the taxes, it cannot pay back its debt. So it needs that money. So this is why Trump has a dilemma. He wants to cut taxes, but he cannot because the rates are too high. So that's why he wants the rates low. And Powell, Follis has been repeating this a countless time. The Fed is supposed to be independent, and the Fed has a dual mandate: keep inflation low, stable around 2%. This is what he's always saying at every single FOMC speech, and keeping the labor market stable as well. So for now, we're far away from, well, not so far, but we're still far from the 2% goal. Like they really want 2%, and for now, today we're at 2.9 for the core, and 2.7 for the CPI, the CPI headlines. So we are far for the 2%. And as long as the Fed is going to see the inflation trending high, then they have no reason to cut. And also the labor market is still fine. So they have no reason to cut. This is why they are so stubborn. And the Fed, because it's independent, doesn't care about the politics. It's not supposed to be caring about it. So they don't care if Trump wants to cut taxes because it's part of Trump politics, you know. And the
Yeah.
Fed is not involved in the politics. It's not supposed to be involved in the politics. So this is why there is like a fight between them. And to be honest, I do believe that Powell is right because he has no reason, in fact, like he has no reason to cut the rates. The situation doesn't allow to have like Trump said we should be below 1%. What's the reason? Like, can
That's really low.
someone explain and say why we would be at 1%? There is no like rational behind that, you know?
Yeah,
100%
that's
Powell uses his brain. Yeah, exactly. Like Powell is right. Powell is 100% right.
yeah, and Trump is a degen just like us. Uh, that's a very interesting chart that Pasta has posted in the chat about Dixie, the chart that shows the strength of the dollar, and it looks like it's
The
breaking.
DXY.
Yeah, DXY. I call it Dixie because it's funnier. Um, it looks like it's breaking a downtrend that has been in place
True.
since January 2025. So technically, by that means is that if the dollar is stronger, then assets against the dollar should be weaker, right? But we see indices and also BTC being at all-time high. So, but if Dixie keeps going up, then that's not actually going to be really great for markets against the US dollar. But the thing that I'm looking at is not necessarily breaking a trend line. Because I don't like trend lines, is because you can feed them to your bias. So you can draw a trend line like this and say, yeah, we are definitely breaking out of this trend line. But at the same time, you can anchor it between, let's say, this high since March, and then you anchor it on these other highs, and then the breakout is just one or two daily candles, which for me is not a breakout. So the the level that I'm looking at mostly is this high right here, which would mean we get a break of structure, which is actually what I want to see for this chart to turn back to bullish after such a long downtrend. But what do you think, guys? What would it mean if we start seeing the XY accelerate to the upside? What's the repercussions on crypto, especially?
Usually
Let's
it's bad.
yeah
Usually it's bad. It's not a good thing because you obviously it says a lot about investors' behavior and market participants' behavior. And if they stack dollars, it means like they're selling their risk on assets. And risk on assets, we're talking about equities, about indices, about crypto as well. The thing is the USD and the DXY movement has been quite weird and unusual because of Trump uncertainty, Trump administration uncertainty, and people like investors. We saw a lot of capital outflow from the US because with the tariff stuff, people were like, okay, weird things are happening in the US. We're not really confident to keep our money there. So let's put money in other places, you know? And you saw euro surging, right? And the thing is, DXY is like an ETF. It's a balance of currencies. It's a basket of currencies, sorry, against the USD, and 60% goes for euro
yeah
in DXY. And so if euro is weakening, and it should be weakening because they still want to lower the rates. So obviously we understand now that when the rates are high, then the currency should be high as well. And when rates are low, then currency should be low as well. So if the ECB in English, sorry, European Central Bank, keep lowering the rates in Europe, then the euro should weaken. And if the euro is weakening, then remember that euro is like almost 60% of DXY in this. Then the USD should getting stronger, right? Um, so it can be. I'm explaining this because it can be the reason why the XY is going up, but also it could be because obviously because of inflation, people are scared and they are selling the equities. Now, just like the yields, we want to see if it's going to be lasting, and if it's not just a short term episode because of the CPI headlines. We might see another increase tomorrow with the PPI. If PPI is following the CPI, then we might see another push on DXY, and then maybe it's going to reverse because, as I said, the market has been reacting excessively to news, whatever it's economic news or geopolitics and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a really fair assumption. Why do you think that the market is overreacting to everything that Trump says or anything related to any financial policies?
Sorry, I was reading the question in the chat. Can you say it again?
Okay. Yeah, why do you think that this time around, like you said, we get overreactions every single time?
Yeah. I think it's just because the market is uncertain. The market is really uncertain, and people are scared. Like people are just scared about like anything that could happen. And Trump is known to be like someone very impulsive, you know.
Yeah,
And
he changes
he
his mind
knows.
so
He
often.
said it yesterday. Yeah, and he changes his mind. The other thing is he knows what he's doing. He said it yesterday. He said on TV that he can move the market however he wants. And
Yeah,
this
he
is
knows
true.
that.
And people know that. Yeah, exactly. And so with someone so unpredictable, then obviously the market becomes as unpredictable because the US are still leading the world, right? Like the US stock market is the most important in the world. So obviously, with the US president being so unpredictable, then you have like most of the money in the stock market become unpredictable as well.
Yeah,
This is why it's so excessive.
yeah, that's totally fair. And I
And
think the markets
and
have moved. Yeah.
yeah, and keep in mind also, and I think you will agree, but it will totally make sense. But you have like it's the first time in the last 2 decades you have a president fighting in its own Federal Reserve chairman.
Yeah.
And the irony is Powell has been chosen by Trump himself in 2016,
hmm
you know, and now he's calling him like an idiot on a daily basis.
Yeah, because he doesn't do what Trump wants him to do. And he
Yeah,
doesn't do it
exactly.
because,
That's
like you
correct.
said, his interest is not politics. It's actually the well-being of the general market. And
Yeah.
that's yeah,
Yeah. So
that's
this is
really
why it
strong.
adds a lot of uncertainty and like,
Yeah, that's really interesting. I when we dumped on SPX in April because of the tariffs, I actually looked back at some data, and every single time we had such a huge dump on the weekly and the monthly chart, we took months or even years to recover. I remember the dot-com bubble crash, the 2008 housing crisis crash, but this time, exactly because Trump is so irrational and he changes his ideas and policies um, every single week, it seems, we recovered that huge dump in a matter of few weeks. So definitely we're living in unprecedented times, which is why I also think this translates to crypto. This is why this cycle is different. This is why altcoins are not behaving like we had it last time. Because when markets are uncertain, I always draw up this pyramid of risk. This is, let's say, some empirical data. Let me know, Osbra, if I'm wrong regarding anything. But the higher you go on the pyramid, the more risk you hold by holding these things. So at the bottom, let's say just looking at the major stuff that I'm looking at. On the bottom, we would have like indices, like S&P 500, Nasdaq, and everything. Then regarding crypto, we have BTC. Then we would have high market caps, and then we would have low caps. And basically, the way I see it is the more risky and the more uncertain the market is, the less people are incentivized to invest in higher beta plays or riskier assets. So right now we are in a portion where, let's say, due to the uncertainty in the market, people are stopping right here on the pyramid. So they are fine with investing in indices, they are fine with investing in BTC, but they are not okay with investing a lot of money into high caps or even low caps, which is why they haven't made a new all-time high, even though S&P, Nasdaq, BTC has made a new all-time high. But what we want to see, in case we want to see an altcoin season, is this uncertainty in the market dissipate. I don't know how that would happen, but let's say it does. And then the profits from these safer assets will flow into the riskier assets once rates go down, once the uncertainty disappears. And that's what we want to see. But given the fact that Trump is so unpredictable, I have no clue if that's going to happen or not.
Yeah, and what you're doing right now on your screen is amazing, and it's exactly I did the exact same thing on stream a few months ago to explain people how it works. So this is very nice. I would even add you can tweak a little bit, and at the very bottom of the pyramid you have the safe haven assets. You have
I call them
historically safe haven assets. Yeah,
gold.
sorry, go on. Yeah, exactly, gold,
Yeah,
and you have
gold
also
and
a few currencies
mm-hmm.
like USD, CHF,
Yeah.
and Japanese yen. And
That's
this
great.
Swiss franc. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you have this. And what we saw, if you look at the charts, we had all-time high on gold. USD before the reversal with the Trump election, it was also extremely high. We have the yen it was supposed to be a safe haven asset, but now we're in a very complex situation that I tried to explain in my corner, but I invite you guys to check if you're interested. And
Yeah,
then,
guys,
exactly
definitely
as you
read that.
said, amazing.
It's really interesting.
You have the indices, then you have BTC. I even separate, like you did, BTC and crypto, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's totally different, especially this cycle with the ETF, which allowed so much institutional and retail flow into BTC as compared to the rest of crypto.
Yeah,
And this is why
200%,
it behaves
200%,
different.
completely aligned. So when I did the pyramid, I separate, yeah, BTC and crypto, and then like you did with a high market cap, low market cap.
And then on
Definitely.
the top of the pyramid, let's say this Pico top would be the
Meme coins.
stupidest shit. Yeah, meme coins, on chain, NFTs, whatever. Yeah,
Watches, etc., etc.
yeah. I mean, watches technically are an investment for the future, no? Because you can just sell them and they don't really lose value over
Yeah, but
a long time.
you also have, prices. You have charts like they go high and stuff on the secondary market. Like usually at the end of a bull cycle, the watches, luxury watches, so all the brands that we know, Rolex, AP, etc., they go incredibly high in prices. And I insist, I'm talking about the secondary market. If you can get them at retail prices, fine. But usually, most people making their money for the first time during a bull run, they don't have access to the to the retail prices and
Yeah.
have to go on the secondary market. And so you get the watches at absurd prices. And same with like the cards and stuff. The like Pokemon Magic, whatever.
Mhm.
Prices go up, and this is also the wine bottles, and this is usually the top of a cycle.
So what do you want to see from, let's say, a general market situation so that we finally we jump over this hurdle between BTC and altcoins, apart from, rates being lower? Do you think there's anything else that can happen theoretically that can make us have this push where people rotate their profits from everything else below this line into what's above, and have that craziness that everybody wants, where we have I don't think we're gonna have NFTs go so crazy again. Of course, we see Pengu right now, but yeah, what do you think should happen so that we get this push towards the top of the pyramid?
So as you said, we have the rates, definitely. We also have the geopolitics. So now we saw yesterday Trump threatened Russia, right? And he said he would increase tariff if they don't make a peace agreement with Ukraine. But at the same time, he asked Ukraine, but I think it's a bluff. But he asked if Ukraine is able to strike Moscow directly with US weapons. So obviously this is bad, but
Crazy.
I think it's bluff, to be honest. Yeah, it's completely crazy to say stuff like that, like Trump, like peak Trump. But yeah, so we want geopolitics to be stable. But something that can also bring turmoil to the market will be the midterms in the US.
Hmm.
We have to be we
When
have to
are
be very
those?
careful about that. It's next year, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's next year
Yes.
because it's at the middle of the Trump mandate.
Yeah. Let me just search it up. It's April till November 2026. It says.
Yeah, so we have at that time we will have the midterms and we'll have the new Fed chairman appointment as well. So
Interesting.
depending on the
That is,
result,
if Powell
the
doesn't quit
market can
until then.
Yeah, exactly. If it's Powell doesn't quit, but Powell has been extremely resilient and super quiet, despite everything that the Trump administration has been saying. He doesn't answer the questions from the journalists. He doesn't comment what Trump says, etc. So yeah, it's really difficult to know what he wants to do. Like last week, everyone was saying, "Oh, Powell is gonna resign tomorrow," and as of today, we have no news. So
Yeah, who knows what's gonna happen? The main point is we're living unprecedented times. It feels like we've been saying that since 2020, like we're living once in a lifetime events. So we have to treat everything with caution and like being something that we haven't traded and we haven't seen before, which is crazy. But at the same time, for me, it's fun to do something that no one has done before, like trade such crazy markets.
yeah, and this is the perfect time to be to gather as much knowledge as you can, and you will be obviously if you learn how to be a trader during very tough times, then it will make everything easier when the conditions are much better.
Yeah, personally, I learned how to trade during the bear market. So yeah, then when the bull market came around, I was, let's say, pretty prepared. But there's no wrong time to learn. You're always learning anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Constant thing. But I think that bear market, because usually when people learn to trade during a bear market, during a bull market, they give everything back during their first bear market.
Yeah, that's for sure. Osbra, thoughts on gold as per Access's request? Because I know you're
Uh,
trading gold.
Yeah, so gold, I still have the same charts. Yeah, here I would go on the daily or H12 maybe. I still have this. For now, gold for me is in a no trade zone. I don't know if XS is more interested into scalping, but to scalp gold, to be honest, you just want to be aware of the news and use market structure, and it works perfectly fine. But if we look at the bigger picture, for now, gold is in a no trade zone. And obviously it will be a movement would be accelerated depending on like news on geopolitics. Like if geopolitics get better, then obviously gold price would go down. If geopolitics get bad, then obviously it will go up. So pay attention to the Putin answer, for example, to what Trump
Yeah.
said about the tariff and stuff, because it could move the price of gold up. Also, pay attention to tomorrow PPI headlines. If inflation is bad, then gold might have a push. But see now it had a push, and now it's retracing everything once again. So, personally, I would position myself at the one of the extremities, and I think this is where you're gonna have the best opportunity to make a lot of money, because once it's set a trend, then it's a long-lasting trend, usually. So let's say we sweep the range high just here, and then things start to get better. Then obviously it would get better for a little while. And let's say you get 3,400 or something, then you might be able to hold a short, for example, at the very least to 3,000 mark and then even lower. And vice versa. If you manage to position yourself around here and things get worse, let's say there is like a conflict between USA and Russia. It's not something that I want to see, guys. To be honest, it would be terrible for Brags. So it's not something I want to see. But if it happens, if there are tensions escalating between them, then you want to position yourself around here, and I think you're good to go to meet like 4,000. I don't know about 5,000. Like some big banks have been predicting, like Goldman and stuff. But yeah, you would be good to go for like a while. Let me just catch up with the chat. Okay, it didn't say anything about if it's either for scalping or long-term
Yeah, no,
trades.
no.
But yeah, you want to position yourself on extremities, and here you go. You have that level 3200, and you have a 3450. Because we didn't take the high here yet, and here as you can see we have equal lows with liquidity take, and this is the range low for now.
Yeah, that's great analysis. I myself set an alert for that level because I've been looking. Honestly, I feel so stupid because I was looking to invest into gold probably since the middle of 2024. And I was like, yeah, it needs to go down a little bit. It needs to go down a little bit because it's at an all-time high. I will not buy at all-time high, and it's up 40% since then. So yeah, I do feel a little bit stupid.
And it's huge. It's huge on gold. It's really huge. But yeah, and as I said, you see, if you manage to position yourself properly. The last time I invested on gold, it was not even for me. It was for a customer with the fund that we had in Luxembourg. It was here on that retest, just here. Like if you just draw a range, like a low, something like this. All right, you see, you have the low, sweep, retest, push. So entered here, and you see you had long-lasting trend. Like it doesn't sound like it's crazy because it's only 20%, but an asset like gold, it's like it's amazing. It's really
Yeah, it's
amazing.
huge.
Yeah, it's a huge move. So now I'd like to see the same because obviously I hope that things get better. So I would love to have a position around here, around 3,400, and then capitalize on the dump. Maybe I don't think gold will see again like low 2000s because obviously it's something that increase over time, and every time the how can I say, the higher low, yeah, the higher low is higher than the previous one. This is obvious, but I don't think we see sub 2000 again. And because also this is how unfortunately, but this is another debate. This is how the world is working, right? It always have more and more uncertainty, unfortunately.
As we're
I see that Trader Hub
speaking,
wants
yeah.
to. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Go
that
on.
was what I was about to say. ETH has been going crazy today. Like it has first
Yeah,
pumped
man.
before New York Open, then dumped in the beginning of the New York
Trace
session,
everything.
and now it's going back up again. So we
Yeah, you
already,
need to
I
trace.
don't know if you're here, but we already talked a little bit about ETH. Um, most of us are looking at a dump to like 2,900 for longs inside this daily fair value gap. Take out these range lows. Potentially I'm personally looking at some shorts either right here at range highs, or we have another daily fair value gap right here. But yeah, what are your thoughts in general about ETH?
If is I think like we said at the beginning, all together with Percy Jonesy, ETH is a good indicator that ads are in a good shape right now, and you want to see Ethereum leading anyway. If you're expecting an ad season or whatever, but this is my game plan basically. I think we're good to go. I'm still holding my Ethereum position that I got around 2,400 because I'm very convinced we get 31, 3,200 in the next couple days, next couple weeks, let's say. But I'm very confident, and then we might have a pullback because things cannot go up forever. Just like it happened here, you see we had a major push here. We had a pullback. I was expecting lower, to be honest. I got wrong on that one, but I was expecting at least that imbalance to be filled. Then here we have another push, but I think this is where we might find some exhaustion and have a pullback. So basically, it would be around, we are very close to it, but it would be around 3,100 and 3,300. and we might see some exhaustion from buyers. And then I like to use the image of a car. And when a car is going too far, at some point you lack gas and you need to go back to the gas station, right?
Yeah,
So at
that's
some point,
great.
Ethereum is going to, yeah, it will need to go back to the gas station, like full the trunk and then go back. So exactly
Yeah.
like you do when you go on holidays with your car, you know?
Yeah, if you're driving an electric car, you need to stop a lot more times.
Even with an electric car. Even with an electric car, yeah.
Right. Any final questions from the members? Any final thoughts from the panelists or from any member as well? Like I said, you're always open to unmute yourself and talk about anything that you guys find interesting.
I think just one thing I wanted to say is we have good times ahead, but I think just like be patient, waiting for entries. Don't feel like you need to FOMO in now. I think we will get a slight pullback going into the rest of the week, and I think that'll be like the most opportune time to enter. We'll see if that's invalidated later on, but yeah, I think being patient here is the key.
Yeah, I totally agree with this because FOMOing at all-time highs has never been like a great plan, let's say. And we definitely do have lower POIs that in case we do retest them, that those are gonna be great levels to pump from. What do you think about AI when it can pump? They didn't have their time yet. Um, it would have been great if Purdue was still around. I think he's taking his kid from daycare or something. He could have had a better opinion on this because I personally don't trade the narratives. So to have the best answer, I had to just ask this question in mentorship or in crypto chat and tag him because he can give you a very detailed answer about how that narrative works. But from my experience, speaking about AI in general, we've had the craziness with AI towards the end of last year, or was it even earlier when ChatGPT was the brand new thing that's going to revolutionize the way we live our lives, and Nvidia was going to all-time highs, and all the AI coins, and then even the AI agents were going so high. But now, generally, the hype about AI has died down a little bit, even let's say in society, not only in crypto. So I'm not really sure how that narrative will play out by the end of the cycle. But yeah, Purdue should know better. So ask him, tag him, and he'll give you a very good answer. Yeah, it was a very interesting roundtable. We talked about BTC, ETH, Sol a little bit, altcoins in general, when and if we expect the altcoin season to come. Then Osbra taught us a little bit about how the financial world works, why rates going down would be a great catalyst for altcoins, why Trump and Powell are fighting over over interest rates. Even gold was discussed. So yeah, a really interesting roundtable. Any last questions? The last minute.
Just to reply, because I completely forgot and I apologize, but Zenderi asked a question and he said, I don't know if you're still here, brother, but he said, Osbro, are you familiar with the US 10 years and US 2 years charts? I use it to anticipate recessions. It shows when lined up with the S&P. This is very interesting because indeed, the Fed and Powell said it's his favorite indicator of a recession, and this is also what we call the yield curve. But we're not going to dwell on this topic today because it's very complex and it would take probably another hour. But it's something that I would be very glad to explain. Usually, they use the curve, the correlation or the decorrelation between short-term rates and long-term rates to anticipate recession or growth, and it's been a very good indicator. But to be honest, I think recession is out of the table because even with high rates, we see that the economy is still growing in the US. And just because you guys talked about AI, remember that they are investing billions, like hundreds of billions, into AI, and investing hundreds of billions into an industry means you create more jobs, more employment, and more employment means more growth, right? So if there is growth, there is no recession.
Yeah, that's totally true. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you to the panelists and myself for driving this conversation. I think it's been awesome, and can't wait to see what the market is gonna do until the next discussion on next Tuesday. So stay safe, lads, and like I always say, don't forget to smile. Bye bye.
Thank you so
Bye.
much, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.